Second technique I want to talk about is about communication. I love this quote. George Bernard Shaw, the playwright. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has occurred. Now, when I look at project teams, I'm curious what you all think. One of the biggest areas that I find right now project teams failing in is assumptions. They got them. They may not communicate them, and they may not validate them. And a lot of that comes back to a very basic human trait, which is communications. And we're seeing that the assumptions of when somebody comes into your organization or your project team today, you cannot assume that they are coming in with the same understanding of the words, values, expectations that you did when you came into your job. You can't. You have to check that assumption at the door and instead work to understand and develop them to understand what you're looking for. So I put up the 5 C's. And in project teams, consistency, confidence, concise, clear, and here's the biggest one, contextual. In project teams right now, we see status reports. Everybody does status reports. We see status reports that are a laundry list of things that kind of got done, but it puts it on the reader to infer what that means in the big scheme of things. Contextual communications, and the younger generation is very good at this. Says, what does this mean? Great, you did 5 screens. What does it mean? Are we on schedule? Are we behind schedule? Do we have some rifts that are out there? That's one of the challenges I see for project managers for us to think about is how do we develop more contextual communications? Because we all are flooded with emails. It's a question of how do we get good information from that in order to make decisions. So from a communication approach, I want to put these 3 because this is one of the issues we're seeing out there quite a bit. Baby boomers, for the most part, like things written and explained. They like to read the paper or the memo. They like the longer emails that actually go through the thought process. Generation Xers, these are like your mid-30s to mid-40s. We want bullet points. We don't need the 4-page long email. We're not going to read it. We want bullet points so we can move on to the next thing because we like checking bullet points off a lot, don't we, Xers? We're very results-based. Ys like it visual. So millennials, they like it very visual. They want to see it at a high level, and they don't want to spend a lot of time on it either. They're not going to read the 4-page email. So I want to show you a technique. For those of you who raised your hand for being in the military, you probably are familiar with this. This is big, and I know some of you probably work for some DoD-type projects. This is not just for DoD-type projects. This is big right now in project management because it cuts across the generations communication. It's called the bluff. Bottom line up front, for those who haven't heard it, it's real simple. You put the conclusion of whatever you're sending somebody about and the context of that conclusion at the top of the email or at the beginning of the meeting or in a conversation. It's like getting the conclusion of the brief and then you can read the brief. So I want to give you a couple of examples because the reason this has been real popular is because it does allow you to be able to support good communication between all communication approaches, meaning those who just want the bullets, those who just want a kind of visual kind of thing, and those who want the full memo. If that was the bluff, first line in an email, some people put it in the subject line. I like it right below the subject line. Need your answer by Tuesday, March 31st at 3 p.m. Okay? If I put that in there, below that, I can explain what I have. I can have 15 attachments for you to review. But if you get that email from me, and we're sitting at February 5th, you can look at that and go, it's got a ways out. I could probably put it to do a reminder on that. I got other stuff that's more pressing today. I'm going to put it in a different queue. But if you're sitting at March 30th, or it's 8 a.m. on March 31st, and you see that, probably a higher priority, or now it's probably more urgent because of the time sensitivity. Simple technique that allows people when they're getting stuff coming in to say, what do I do with this? Do I act on it now? Do I put it away? Do I not even need to care about it? And I can have as much detail below that I want to have. And for those that like to read the long emails, they may read the long email. For those that just say, oh, I got to give an answer, I'm going to pop up in the attachments, review it, give you my answer, they may deal with it right then.